Always be starting seeds. This is what I call my new seed starting method that I started implementing last July, and that is what made the biggest difference in my garden between last February and this February. Last February, my garden was virtually empty and it had no plants growing in it, and this year it's full of spring flowers ready to bloom in just a few short weeks. So I'm going to take you around my garden, show you how it has changed over the past year, and share 3 things that I would change and 3 things that I would do the same again this year that you can do in your gardens too. So this is my garden in February. So this is my side garden, and it's actually one of the best examples, I think, of where I did something that I'm super proud of and something that I'm not and might bite me in the butt in a few weeks. So the good thing, as you can see, is that there are things growing here. They look amazing. I have some bupleurum, some larkspur, and I even started experimenting last year with like cover cropping at the base of plants. So I have some radishes, and both the bupleurum and the larkspur should bloom for me in time for Mother's Day. So this is great. I love that there are things growing here and they look good. The problem is something that you actually can't see. When I put these in the ground, I didn't soil test, so I don't actually know if they have the nutrients that they need. So we're just gonna hope and pray that that's all right. But in the future, and for this coming year, I am doing soil tests before I plant things in so that I can amend before we have plants. You can add fertilizer and, help the plants along if you realize there are deficiencies once they're growing, but it's better to do it before so you don't have to do that. So last summer, I was really proud of myself. I started a number of different things. However, the problem we have is that I didn't have a plan. I was just starting stuff. I was like, I got some seeds. I'm putting them in the dirt and look, they're growing. And then it was like, oh, where am I going to put this? Do I need this? Why am I growing this? I only have so much space. I don't know where I'm going to put this. Luckily, last fall, I direct seeded some bupleurum. And I also started some campanula. How do we feel about pelleted seed, y'all? I have not had good luck with it. Well, that's about it, y'all. That's about it. And I do have space for them, but it was just a small piece of the space I have available, and I need to fill up the rest of the space. So we're going to check on the campanula, which is under this little tunnel, in a second. But for now, I'm going to show you something else that I'm proud of and something else that I would do differently. Over here, you can see that I have something growing, and these are actually lentils that I got from Walmart and just started them. I am proud of this. I think I want to do not necessarily more lentils from Walmart, but I want to do more cover cropping in bare soil when possible. And I think part of that means having cover crops available. One of the bad things that I did not do, which is not it's not really that bad of a problem. But as you can see over here, these are sort of like my vegetable beds. As you can see, there's not much growing in them, so they're not really any different from last year. But over here, you can see this bed is covered in snow. It's actually covered in ice, and I don't know when it's gonna melt because it's kind of in the shade at this time of year. So if I were to do something again, next year I would be a little more proactive when we do have snow and cold and cover whatever garden beds are empty, which hopefully next year I won't have any. But if I do, I want to cover them so that I could plant in them because I have a lot of plants growing and I really would like to be planting them, but I can't because there is snow and ice and it's not going anywhere. So one of the areas in my garden that has just turned into an absolute dumping ground anytime I have extra plants, like all the plants I started last July, I was like, what do I do? I put them in these little perennial beds that I have, and I did not realize how big of a change there was between last year and this year until I started looking back at this footage, and it's kind of crazy how much I've just filled up this space with extra seedlings over the last year. I definitely want to try to be more curated in my gardening and my horticulture skills, but I'm pretty proud of this garden and I'm excited to see what it looks like in spring. Oh, lady! No. So we have had extreme cold temperatures for my area, and that's one of the things that I'm learning this winter. As again, I'm really new to all of this, so it's just kind of like, wow, I really am just relying on nature to like work with me, even though I have no control over it. And it's really hard because I do have a bunch of plants growing that I want to have blooming in just a few short weeks, and if a massive storm comes or a flood or a tornado, whatever it might be, like, I am at the mercy of nature. So I'm working with nature, but I'm at its mercy, and it's just like this weird balance. But I think that's part of what makes gardening and flower farming so beautiful at the same time. Luckily, it looks like most things are doing really well, even with the cold. So let's go back to that bed of campanula and check on it. I actually have something else hiding in here, which I haven't checked on, so let's see how it's doing. We've had hopefully our last batch of cold for a while. So this is like a perfect summary of the 3 things I would do again and the 3 things I would do differently. And I have 3 garden beds. So as a recap, I would cover the soil. This bed is the worst of the worst. It has everything wrong with it. There's nothing right here. Don't look at it. It's empty. When I do have empty beds like this and I don't cover crop it, is just to have a lot more leaves on hand. That's the final thing that I regret not doing in my garden. So collecting leaves, covering beds, that's like the best case scenario. Leaves add so much nutrients to your soil and they help protect it from the freeze-thaw cycle that this bed is currently going through. So let's bring it over to this other bed, which I think is my prime example bed. I love it. It's my baby. In this bed, I have some snapdragons that they do look sad, but I'm proud that they're here, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm proud that they're here even if they die. And then I also have some larkspur. I have more larkspur. So I'm very proud of this bed because I took a soil test, I amended it, and then I planted, and they look good. But this is where I am planting out a number of snapdragons soon. And again, you can see it's covered in snow. So I really wanted to be planting them out like now and put like a little cover over them, but I guess we just have to be patient and wait. So the final lesson that I have that I've learned, which is not really about any of this, but it is a lesson from the past 365 days of growing. Like, the biggest takeaway I got from last year, one of the things that I would do that I learned that I'm going to continue to do this year, but hopefully a little more strategically with a plan. I have this seed starting plan and method that I've been following that will be in my next video. So if you're interested in that, be sure to like and subscribe. But The thing that I learned last year that I am taking with me, hopefully to the moon forever, is to just always have seedlings on hand. Just always be starting seeds. Like, the more I garden and the more I flower farm, the more comfortable I feel with like the knowledge that I've gained, if that makes sense. Like, to me, I was thinking about it as like a shoe. When you get a shoe and it feels tight and you're kind of like, ooh, should I have bought this shoe? I don't know. I feel uncomfortable. But then a year later, you're walking in the shoe, no problem. You just got to try it. You just got to put on the shoe. You got to walk around. It's uncomfortable at first. You don't know what you're doing. But then you start figuring it out. Like day by day, year by year, you figure it out. And before you know it, you're like, I could start zinnias in July. That is my lesson, is to just always be starting seeds. It's like, keep it simple, stupid, but always be starting seeds. I don't know, it doesn't make a cool word, but that's my advice. And that's the thing that I did. That's the reason why the plants that I have growing now, the campanula, the snapdragons, the bupleurum, the larkspur, I didn't have a plan for them. I was just like, I know I should be starting these now, so I'm going to start them now. So I'm glad that I did that, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have anything growing, and I would be in the same place I was last year. So, and that is my final lesson. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed me walking you through my garden and you want to see whether or not I make it to Mother's Day and how many flowers I have blooming by then, be sure to like and subscribe, follow along for the next few weeks of seeing my garden change, because this is the time of year where things just start to change week by week, believe it or not. So I'm very excited for the next year, and I will see you in the next video.